It is Thursday, May 9th, and the Dong Report is back in your life. I'm Matt Modi, and I have three MLB home run picks for you guys to lock in for tonight's MLB betting slate. We only have a couple games on tap as today is a travel day, but still was able to find three home run picks that I do really like. Of course, before we can get into today's picks, we got to do a recap from yesterday, which was fine. I got one to hit a home run yesterday. We did get donged yesterday. Thank you to Juan Soto. The other two, unfortunately, did not hit a home run, but because of the odds, just getting one home run meant that we were green for the day, albeit slightly, but still, we'll take a day profitable in the green betting home runs any day we can get. One for one and two yesterday, up 0.43 units. Not breaking the bank with a 0.43 unit day, but again, we're not going to apologize for a day in the green. On the entire season, that admittedly doesn't put a huge dent into our season losses. We're still down a little over 12 units on the entire season. But the good news is there are signs that we are coming out of this slump. So since April 21st, which I understand is a pretty arbitrary date, but if you will allow me to be arbitrary for a second, since April 21st, we are up about a little over 6 units of profit in the 3 or so weeks since then. So hopefully that does mean that we are on to something. And as the weather gets warmer, as we have more data under our belts, we'll be able to officially get off the horrible stretch that we had in April. I mean, hey, a couple more weeks like we had, and we will be green for the season, which was amazing when you think of how bad it was where we were in April. So let's hope that we can continue the hot streak. Again, I have three home run predictions for you guys today. If you are not already, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. The guess here is that we're about to go on a dong heater, so you're not going to want to miss out on that. And then, of course, for this specific video, if you could comment, all that stuff does help me out a ton. And then the last thing I'll say before I get into today's picks is that I do have a Dub Club where I send everything out for $5 a month. $5 a month gets you the same picks on the Dub Club that you see me give out for free on YouTube and on Twitter. You just get them sent directly to your phone, and you get them early. So if you're not always able to watch the YouTube videos, you don't always care, or you want to lock stuff in before the odds change, that's what the Dub Club is for. Again, it's only $5 a month, and if you're interested, I have a link to that in the description of the video. But if you'd rather just get everything for free, wait, YouTube, Twitter, totally fine with me. I just like to give people the option. But that's enough of that. Let's get into today's home run predictions. Let's see if we can get donged today, starting in the Diamondbacks versus Reds game. And I'm taking Christian Walker to hit a home run at plus 350 odds at FanDuel. So we went with Walker a couple days ago. We went with him on Tuesday. Unfortunately, he didn't come through for us. That was a dongless day on Tuesday. But I love this play once again for him today, so I'm comfortable going right back to him despite the fact that he did just burn us on Tuesday. For starters, and as is normally expected at Reds Stadium, this is the best weather game of the day by far. 4 home runs to be hit. The absolute best day by far. It's being played at Red Stadium, which is always a good sign. But not only that, it's humid. The winds are blowing out of the ballpark. Should be an excellent day for Carey and an already excellent ballpark for home runs. And I think the plus 350 odds, pretty good for Christian Walker. When we went with him on Tuesday, it was at plus 300. So he hasn't hit one in a couple days. So we're getting a little bit better odds at plus 350. But I do think that this is a good spot for Christian Walker. He's hit 3 home runs in the last 14 days, so the last 2 weeks, which isn't amazing. But all of his advanced stuff is pretty good. ISO rate is at 30.6% over the last 2 weeks. That's excellent. His barrel rate is at 28.6% over the last 2 weeks. Not only is that squarely, easily in the excellent threshold, that's actually the best number in the entire MLB over the last 2 weeks. And it's a pretty decent margin between him and the second best guy. So that barrel rate is incredible, and it definitely bodes well for a game in Red Stadium where if you just barrel it up with a little bit of power, that ball is going to fly out of the ballpark. And he's got good metrics elsewhere as well. 42.9% fly ball ratio, 46.4% pull rate, closer to average than good. Definitely not bad, nothing concerning there. And he's got an average exit velocity of 94.3 miles per hour. Now, it's not quite the 95 miles per hour and above that would be considered a hard hit on average, which is what I generally like to strive for. But that 94.3 is close, and it's still the 13th best in the MLE. So it is still a pretty good number over the last 2 weeks. Now, the reason why we're getting the plus 350 odds is that the pitching matchup is a little bit scary with Hunter Green on the mound for the Reds. Hunter Green throws gas. He is a right-handed pitcher, and Walker's ISO rate is pretty significantly better against right-handed pitching than it is against lefties. 6 of Walker's 7 home runs this year have come against right-handed pitching. And Hunter Greene throws gas. As long as Christian Walker is just able to barrel one up, he's going to send that baseball to the moon. So let's hope that he does so, cashing this out for us as our first play. Next up, we're heading to the Astros versus Yankees game, and I'm taking Juan Soto to hit a home run, plus 420 odds at FanDuel. So we went with Soto yesterday. He hit a home run. I like this matchup once again for him tonight, so I'm comfortable riding with him 2 days in a row, despite the fact that he did just hit one yesterday. Now, the scary news out of the way, I'll get that out first, is he's going up against Ronel Blanco of the Astros, another pretty good pitcher, so we're not targeting mashable pitchers in this one. We are targeting good pitchers, but I do think that we have reasons to do so. Ronel Blanco is a right-handed pitcher who struggles against left-handed hitting, and Juan Soto is a left-handed hitter who is much, much better against right-handed pitching. So right off the bat, an excellent handedness, that's a tongue twister, matchup between these two. 3 of the 4 home runs that Blanco has given up on the year have come against lefties. His home run per 9 is at 1.53 against lefties. That's a decently high number, and it's sub 1 against righties. He's allowing a fly ball ratio of 56.5% against against left-handed hitters. That's a really, really high number. 4 home runs to be hit, 56.5. And he's allowing a pull rate of 45.7 as well. All that stuff bodes well for Juan Soto as a left-handed hitter. And Ronel Blanco's hard hit percentage is significantly higher against lefties than it is against righties, just across the board. Not as good of a pitcher against left-handed hitters. Great for Soto. And Soto, yes, he's better against righties. He's also just been raking in general recently. His advanced stats show someone, regardless of handedness, a really, really good baseball player over the last 2 weeks. His ISO rate is at 25.5%. That's in the excellent category. His barrel rate is at 13.6%. That's great. Not quite excellent, but still well within the number that we need him to be at. But his even more advanced stats from that are phenomenal. He leads the MLB in total number of hard hits over the last 2 weeks. Just hard hit balls, which is a weird sentence to say, is what it is. He leads the MLB in that. He's also got a hard hit percentage of 61.4% over the last 2 weeks. That's an awesome number. And then the last stat that I'll give about his advanced stats, super nerdy stuff here, is that his average exit velocity is 96.4 miles per hour. That means every time he hits the ball, he averages a hard hit, because the MLB defines hard hit as 95 exit velocity and above. That's the 5th highest in the MLB over the last 2 weeks, just smoking the baseball. And then in terms of his righty versus lefty splits, 7 of his 9 home runs have come against right-handed pitching. His ISO rate is up to 26.7% against righties. That's excellent, and it is up from 20.5% against lefties. That's still within the great category, but obviously it's a difference between great and excellent, going from right versus left-handed pitching. So overall, major advantage for Juan Soto. Let's hope he comes through dong in one for us. Next up, we're actually sticking in the same game, Astros versus Yankees, third and final pick. Yordan Alvarez to hit a home run, plus 430 odds at FanDuel. So it's our last play of the evening, and it's really rare that you will see Yordan Alvarez have home run odds at all the way up at plus 430. Normally for him, he's in like the plus 200s. Now, I understand why the odds are so high. I also do think that makes it a really good buy low value opportunity on Yordan Alvarez. If you look at his splits over the last 2 weeks, I will admit, nothing that impressive. He's got a low ISO rate for his standards. He's only hit 2 home runs over the last 14 days as well. But there are signs that he's going to come out of that slump, and there are reasons to believe in him specifically for tonight. For starters, he's going up against a right-handed pitcher. Historically, that bodes well for Yordan. Now, that hasn't been the case if you look at the entire season. He hasn't been mashing righties nearly as much on the season as a whole as he has basically the rest of his entire career, especially the last 2 years. But the 2 home runs that he's hit over the last 2 weeks, those were both against right-handed pitchers. So there are signs that he's coming out of that and performing better against righties. His ISO rate, specifically against right-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks, is at 26.9%. That's obviously in the excellent threshold. And he's got a ridiculously high fly ball ratio, 75%. That's crazy. Literally 3/4 of the time he's making contact with the baseball. it's considered a fly ball. That is an awesome number for home runs to be hit if you are consistently putting the ball in the air at such a rate as that. He's got a barrel rate of 13.3%. That's great, but not excellent, but it does show that he is at least still being able to barrel the ball up despite this home run slump that he's been in. And he should be able to crush the Yankees pitcher, Marcus Stroman, right? Marcus Stroman is a right-handed pitcher. As I mentioned, Yordan is historically better against righties. Stroman throws the fastball 46% of the time. Even in this slump year that Yordan's having, that's the ball that he hits the best and the most for power, are fastballs. So that's common for a lot of home run hitters, but definitely common for Yordan as well. So let's hope that he gets a hold of one, sends it yard, cashing this out for us. And that's all we got. 3 dong picks for you guys to lock in. And make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. All we need is one of these 3 to hit and we'll be profitable. If we can get all 3, we'll be rich. So let's hope for that. Again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Dub Club if you're interested in that. Appreciate everybody for watching and have a good one.